to talk to are the stakeholders of the next generation.
Yeah.
These are kids that could serve in our military, they can vote. Let's stop talking down to these kids and start talking to them and hearing them. And again, my college campus tours have evolved over the years. I'm not here to punk you or make you look bad. I'm literally trying to teach. And I think if I'm teaching, how is it any different than what a professor does on campus with these kids? And so it's like a silly thing. They'll say, oh, Charlie only debates college kids. Like, okay, literally, I've sat down with Ben Burgess, for example, who's a PhD professor from Georgia, and we debated socialism for 2 hours. I'll debate anybody, anytime, any place, politician, current, former, old, young, you name it. And it just so happens in that one, they were like, yeah, 1 against 25. I was like, okay, you know.
First of all, that's seriously sick that you could even have the confidence to do that. But through that whole situation between you and Parker, I know it's a little irritating, and I know we're all here laughing, but there's a lot of children that are on his side of the fence that watched the way he reacted and was like, this doesn't seem like he's very confident in what he's saying. He's being very, what is it, gaslighting? This is what these kids are saying? Like,
yeah.
They're
he would answer his question and then be like, you didn't answer my question.
Yeah, so as much as we could understand that that's foolish, but I think a lot of people did learn from it. I think it opened up a lot of people's eyes. Would you ever be open to sitting down with him again and speaking to him?
Parker, I mean, that's maybe, yeah, I mean, he'd have to clean up his act. Dean, for sure, and I actually have a heart for Dean in a way, not in a romantic way, obviously, but like, I have a heart for that kid. Like, I actually think
so funny that you said that.
Well, I mean, because society is so sick,
funny.
right? But no, I think he's on a journey of intellectual discovery, and I feel bad for him that he's getting rolled all over the internet because of something he said when he was 16. I think that's super unfair. Because think about it, like, this is something he said when he was 16 in private DMs. He goes viral on this video because of me and the other video, and next thing you know, his entire history gets like he didn't ask for that. So I think that's super unfair. Yeah, I mean, I'll talk to anybody. I will talk to anybody, any place, as long as they don't.
Have a good one, Justin.
Don't exist to troll, and they're doing it in good faith. If you come in good faith, I'll talk to you anytime. Parker is right on the edge of good faith, though. It's not a good faith acting at times.
But you got to remember, he's young, dude. He might be influenced by his people.
Fair enough. Then he has to act older and mature.
Yes.
To warrant another sit down.
Got it.
Right.
I think, and this might be shooting my shot out there. I would love to have both you guys on the show sitting down, and not that I'm a mediator, because people would know that I agree a lot more with your ideas. But I think that if you guys had a place and a setting where it wasn't timed, and you didn't have people saying that your daughter was getting raped, like, I think it would be a bit more of like, let me actually understand your point of view. But that sit down where it's like crossfire and it's points, and let me take out the guy who takes everybody out. It looked to me more like a royal battle than it did.
Well, yeah, and I'm like trying to fend off as soon as I have a good attack, boom, another one comes, and boom, another one comes. It was a very unusual format.
It's very interesting.
It was entertaining.
It's actually something I wanted to ask you because, I mean, obviously you're used to this and you're used to debating with people, and when people don't get their way, they like to throw insults if certain points aren't making across. How do you deal with that? Because it must get a little difficult at times. Some people, they like to, insult the way you look or something that you said, and does that affect you a little bit?
No, it doesn't. Look, if you have to in my physical appearance, then you probably don't have much to say about my ideas, which means my ideas are probably pretty good. So, yeah, I mean, it doesn't bother or faze me. You can't let that stuff get to you.
Cool. I've been practicing not getting offended just off the Bible verses. Only a fool is offended. So I was like, I don't want to be a fool.
And, just get so joking.
All right, let's get into it. What are you worried about, man? Like, I want to learn a little bit more about the election. What are you scared that it could turn, and what are things that you're hoping we could press on?
Yeah, I mean, look, I want to kind of go back to something we said earlier. I'm really worried that a bunch of Christians aren't voting. I'm very concerned about that. Trump could win. Kamala could win. Look, the problem with this election is that it feels bigger than other elections in the past.
Way bigger.
Because we no longer have a Democrat Party that wants the same basic things that we have always wanted, such as a secure border, a stable currency, and the American dream for the next generation. So I imagine in your audience, there's some people that have made up their mind on this election. And let me speak to them. Here is a fact. They are the first generation since George Washington to have it worse off than their parents. It has never happened before in American history. Every generation has had it at least as good or better than their parents. That's what we call the American dream. You come to this country, you grow up in this country, your kids are going to have a better shot at the American dream than you do. They'll be wealthier, whatever the metric is. Our generation is sicker, fatter, more depressed, more anxious, more Medicaid, harder to buy a home. Here's one number. When Trump was president,